Could you address the issue of the escalation of violence in Eastern Congo, and especially, what some people call genocide?
Yes, the DRC is victim of a spillover of several 100,000 people linked to perpetrators of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda in 1994. And this migration of people, of weapons, and of the entire financial capital of Rwanda at the time, facilitated by France and the former Mobutu regime, ended up in settling on the other side of the border in former Zaire. And this migration, which took place 30 years ago, has resulted in the current instability of DRC due to the inability of the successive Congolese administrations and the international community present in the region since before the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda to contain this huge hate network. And the former leaders of the Hutu power, which had staged the genocide in Rwanda, have reorganized into the current FDLR armed group. And so the situation of the 30 years of unchecked genocide ideology has led to the revival of the old colonial racist hate, bringing back the colonial library of the division of races, the Bantu versus Nilotic divisive discourse, and with it the same stereotypes that were used during the Holocaust against the Jews. Now this hate speech and incitement of violence for the past 20 years has led to the current atrocity crimes committed against the Banyamulenge, the Congolese Tutsi, and the Hema. And the UN has, with the Office on Genocide Prevention, has confirmed through several statements that atrocity crimes are being committed. And therefore, this is genocide.
Bojana, some have called this war an M23 war. Do you think that M23 is responsible for the conflict that we see in eastern region of Congo, DRC?
DRC is a perfect example of a post-truth, post-reality context where the language of conflict creates the conditions used to perpetuate violence. We tend to use fictive stories of massacres like Kishishe and before that Kipupu, where we exaggerate figures to accuse, in this case, the least violent group, that's M23, of creating instability in a country where 130 other armed groups continue to kill, rape, and vandalize, and who have been doing this for 10 years, during which M23 was dormant. So a common mistake is being made by looking at immediate effects of a situation and therefore attributing the instability of DRC to M23 and further down the road, Rwanda. One critical thing to understand is that M23, which is a Congolese rebel group made of Congolese, not foreign rebels, is a symptom of DRC state mismanagement rather than the cause of instability. M23 was created in 2012 because of the Congolese government's inability and absence of will to provide security to a population decimated by armed groups freely operating in North Kivu. And this scenario of destruction of people and their livelihoods was repeated in every part of eastern DRC. And so these communities were wrongfully perceived as non-Congolese, like they are today.
Bojana, a lot of people ask this question. What is the role of the United Nations mission there in Congo, known as MONUSCO?
Yes, so MONUSCO was mandated in 2010 following MONUC to use all necessary means to protect the civilians and to also support the Congolese government in its stabilization of peace and consolidation efforts with up to 19,000 peacekeepers and a budget which has now reached $2 billion a year. When we look at the record of MONUSCO today, there's a huge disparity between the mandate and the result. Despite close to $20 billion having been spent, we do not see consolidation of peace and security. We do not see sovereign Congolese states or working institutions, and there is a proliferation of groups, armed groups in DRC. And yet we do see a proliferation of humanitarian organizations to the point where the Congolese people feel that their pain is a financial incentive for the international community to indefinitely operate in their living space.